Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia 211 Successor. Now, this chapter, once again, leading on, like directly on from last chapter, it was a really good chapter. I enjoyed it. Only like 12, 13 pages max. Very short chapter, but it just hypes me so much for what we're going to get in the next chapter after this. So probably not until after Christmas. Well, it's Christmas now, so probably not until next year, I think. I can't be sure. Usually a chapter will just spring up out of nowhere and everyone's happy, but and then there's a week after that which we don't get it. So it really just depends on when we get that week or two that we don't get chapters. But this chapter was good, and it starts with Monoma telling Shinso that they're both alike, and how when he was younger he was asked how he would become a hero with a quirk like that. So with his ability to kind of copy other quirks for duration. And Shinso obviously isn't too impressed with this comparison. He's like, I understand that we might have similarities, but I'm not too cool with that. And he's not sure how to feel about it. Between the comparisons between himself and Monoma. But Monoma's just like, he doesn't seem to mind it so much, and he moves the conversation forward by asking how to get Deku to speak, so that he can activate, so that he could either use Shinso's quirk, or Shinso, who's actually there, could use his quirk against Deku. After being told to just insult his classmates, Monoma notes how they must resort to kind of unhero-like tactics in order to keep up to these very strong physical hero-type quirks. For instance, Bakugo and someone like Deku, who if they were aware of both Monoma's and Shinso's quirks, they'd probably be able to just tank them anyway, because even though Monoma can copy someone like Bakugo's quirk or someone like Deku's quirk, without the necessary practice with those quirks, he wouldn't be able to do anything to them, so he'd just get body bagged. And Shinso, if you didn't answer to him, you'd just get body bagged as well. So he feels like he has to use unhero-like tactics in order to keep up with these guys. And as Monoma considers how all of these kind of how his hopes and dreams of being a hero have kind of become almost like a burden, and how these pressures have burdened him, we see Deku continuing to go apeshit with all of this blackness, this darkness erupting around him. With tears in his eyes, Deku tells his fellow aspiring hero Monoma to run away, get as far away from me as possible. Only Monoma thinks that this is some sort of new technique, and he's like, "Oh my God, you've come up with a new technique? What a guy! I really hate you inside," and stuff like that. And he doesn't actually hear Deku tell him to run. Thankfully, he dodges the black sticky energy that Deku fires out, which is quite destructive in and of itself. I mean, it punctures holes into these things, into like the environment around him, and this blackness attaches itself to the environment. Like I said, it has this kind of stickiness, this sticky quality to it. I'm not too sure how to describe it, but whatever, it's like slime. Whatever it touches, it kind of just grasps, and it yanks Deku straight towards where Monoma was, destroying everything there. So it kind of treats Monoma like a human cannonball. It just flings him everywhere. So all of Deku's classmates watching think this is a new technique developed by Deku, while Deku struggles on the floor, pleading Shinso, who he happens to kind of be right next to. He pleads with him to get away due to his lack of control. He's like, "Dude, I have no control over this. Get away. Get as far away as possible." And you can see he's got tears in his eyes, and Shinso's just there like awestruck, like, "Oh shit, what the hell's going on? Like, this dude's obviously not in control. He's basically crying." I'm like, "Shit, what do I do?" That's what Shinso's thinking right now. So the black, sticky tendrils explode outwards again while Deku's on the floor, attaching to different parts of the map, almost skewering Mina, Mineta, and Uraraka. And they fling Deku into the air, knocking him into some sort of tank, while Uraraka looks concerned. And All Might finally walks back in on Aizawa and Vlad, telling them to stop the assessment as quickly as possible because of Deku. He's like, no, this isn't normal. We need to stop this right now. Aizawa looks back at All Might with concern, like, oh shit, like if One for All is going ape shit, that's one of the very few quirks that if it's going ape, they really want to stop it then and there, because they don't know very much about One for All, and its association with All for One really makes it a dangerous kind of quirk, as in like we don't really know what's going to go on with it, and if there's some sort of like thing built into it, it could kill people. So Aizawa looks very concerned as he turns to do something. Meanwhile, Uraraka also looks majorly concerned, with Deku trying to control the blackness rising within and without him. So this part was pretty saddening for me. I mean, like, you see Deku tearing up, thinking about how hard it's been for him, how hard he's struggled to gain even some slight control over One for All, and then having that kind of feeling within him of, I've conquered at least, like, I think 20% of it, and I'm being able to call it call it my quirk because I've been gaining control over it, and now the shit's hitting the fan. I've got zero control over it, and the quirk is controlling me. The quirk is taking over me rather than what Bakugo had advised him to do, which is own your quirk. So he's all of that kind of emotion is welling up inside him. You can see it in his face, see it in his eyes, see it in his tears. And he's there shouting at his quirk to stop, and in a mixture of kind of fear and pain. And Deku's just encompassed in this blackness, in this darkness. Deku grimaces as the environment around him starts to take damage from the swirling vortex of revolving darkness around him. And I'm just thinking, yo, shit, Deku's in a big pickle. Suddenly, Ochako pops up right beside Deku. She's floating and holding on to him, proving that she will one day be the rightful partner to Deku, whether that's as a hero, whether that's in life, whether she becomes his future waifu or some shit. I don't know. You guys can ship that up. I'm not that guy. But the fact that she's the only person there out of all of them, well, with A, the capability because he's stuck in midair, and two, with the balls to actually go up to him and try and help him. Like, she can't really do anything, but she's holding on to him, at least giving him some sort of like emotional and mental support. So the fact that she's done that means that she, at this point in time, I fully believe that she deserves Deku in whatever way she wants him, or he wants her. So she shouts out for Shinso to assist her, who stands in shock, but I have no doubt that Shinso will respond to her cause. He's not just going to stand there in shock. So the question remains, however, what the hell is going on? Like I said last chapter, is this something to do with All For One having built into the quirk some sort of like, once a certain condition has been met within a specific host, something will occur. So basically he set like a condition, I think, into the quirk, and it's been met in Deku for some reason, and now this blackness is exploding out of it. That could be one scenario. Or is this something that One For All had built into his quirk in order to teach Deku something, or in order to teach a user of One For All something? It could be that. Or is this something innate within One For All once it has kind of stored a certain amount of power, which is why it never activated for the other users? So basically, once it stores enough power, this occurs. And the only reason why it didn't happen for someone like All Might is because it hadn't accumulated as much power. But now with All Might's power added onto it and given to Deku, that's it's activated in this situation. So that's too much speculation, too little evidence on my part, but hopefully Shinso will be able to aid in uncovering something about One For All and our boy Deku. So that's it for this chapter. That's my opinion of it and my review. Let me know what you guys thought of this review chapter, all of that good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a bit.